Truth seekers, I want to welcome you all to, some people call this hump day, and not humping literally like you're going to go out and hump something, but it's hump day because it's in the middle of the week for most people, and it all depends on where you are. But either way, I want to welcome you here to the channel and all of you today being here today. We're going to have a great conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about reincarnation, past lives. I got a few video clips that I'm going to show you. One in particular later on in the show is really emotional, but I think you're going to grasp the intense moment about this little boy talking about being reincarnated. Other than that, first of all, I want you to know, again, that I'm up for the Conscious Awards this year, and I want to make sure that I get your vote. So each and every one of you want to make sure that there's a link in the description of the video, and make sure you go down there and get it. Vote for me. I'm in the podcast category, and definitely vote for me for the second annual Conscious Award. And if you haven't done it already and have done it, I want to appreciate you for doing just that. But once again, the link is in the description of the video, so you can definitely go in there and vote for a brother. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to vote for some other people. Some of them you may not know, but just go ahead and take a wild guess if those people are worthy for your vote. And so we will do that as well. Another part of this is to, I think one of the things that we're going to, do we need a sound check? I see some of y'all saying, oh, sound is good. Can you vote for more than once? Try it. Vote from a whole different thing. You can, use a different email or whatever. Some of you said you got no sound. So everybody said you can hear, and someone says Rogers has no sound. Be right back. All right, cool. All right, so with that being said, like I said, we got a great conversation. Now, the question I will begin with is to also ask, do you believe in past lives? Do you believe in reincarnation? And if you did, and people do, why would people not just take themselves out when the time comes to say, you know what, this was not working, I'm gonna come back anyway? Fuck it, let me get out of here. Is there some type of situation that we will look into that? But we're going to talk about that a little bit. We want to open up that conversation for people to think about it, because I think it's real. And of course, I have my own theories. I got things that we will read and talk about here in a little bit. But the most thing is, what if death isn't the end, but merely a doorway to another life? And people really figure that out. Then we would have a revolving door, right? So that's something for us to think about. So let's look into that from there to say, okay, this is how we're going to roll it, and pretty much. So with that being said too, from a soul aspect, our consciousness survives death and it's reborn into a new body. And once again, is that one of those things? I got a couple of clips and stuff that we'll play tonight, but the most part is to get into that conversation about reincarnation, or most people call it past lives. And of course, we understand you can get regression therapy. A lot of people should, and I think we might find out some incredible things about ourselves when we get ourselves into that scenario. What is reincarnation? I'm glad you asked. I think some people really want to know. The key beliefs of that is that the soul essence is immortal. It's a part of us. It's something that we will continue this particular cycle. Now, we're still going to take in consideration of karma, right? You're talking about karma and the law of cause and effect that shapes our reincarnation. So obviously, there are things that, we are here. Some people say we're here as a learning process. And if there's things that we don't understand and get, we continue to get it over and over and over again. The other part is the reincarnation side of things is to learn lessons, evolve spiritually, so to speak, and work through our karmic debts is what it is, and things that we have already to do. Now, is there an ultimate goal? I'm sure it is, and I'm sure it was designed a certain way. And I talked about it before when we start thinking about Earth being a prison planet, or a planet that re-evolves in any particular way, that we need to think about that. So do we believe, or do you believe in it, and that's something we want to think about. But the other part of this is, if our souls are trapped here, or if they supposedly constantly re-improve or improve over time in order to be released, that makes sense when we think about the Bible and all this saying, hey, you gotta, repent. All these things, it's all about the soul going to heaven, right? Instead of burning in hell, which are we already there? So I don't know. But again, the ultimate goal is to break free from cycles of reincarnation. Maska nirvana is what they're saying to that. So do any of you in the chat, make sure, and I'll put it up on the screen, have you experienced some type of reincarnation at some kind? Have you experienced this within your lives, or do you feel deja vu, or all of these different terminologies that can come in it? Now, of course, this is a belief all across religious sections out here. You're talking Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, some form of Judaism, Christianity, Gnosticism, ancient Egypt and Greece. All of these religions talk about or have some type of depiction of reincarnation over the past. And so that makes it go. But once again, I've always said that I'm intrigued about it, and I've always been having that intriguement because it's something that we want to think about. But tonight, like I said, we're going to play a few videos that you're going to see, some clips, some things that you want to think about, and pretty much. Now, the first clip that I'm going to talk about is not reincarnation, but it's a device that someone is making, and it's called the suicide pod. Now, of course, that has to play with reincarnation, because once you go, you're coming back. But it's somebody who's inventing a particular machine that if you say, I want to take myself out of here, and you want to go out pleasantly, you sit inside this pod, push a button, and it's going to take you out in the most euphoric way. And so therefore you feel no pain and everything else. But if this is readily ablatable, and then of course the notion of reincarnation gets out to people that you're going to come back and continue to come back and come back, and maybe you don't want to come back, then you're going to say, okay, I'll just take the easy way out. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to be painful. And it's crazy, but they do have a machine like that. So I'm going to play this video that you can see that particular machine and be like, man, what's going on there? So let me put it out. Let me see if I have it. Here we go. Check this video out.
This device was invented to help people kill themselves, but painlessly. The device is called a suicide pod capsule machine, and it was created in 2021 by a man named Philip, who is the former physician and founder of a group called Exit International. Basically, the 3D printed capsule is supposed to give people who wish to die legally an alternative to existing legal assisted dying methods. When someone gets in the capsule and lays down, they will be asked a number of questions, and when they answer these questions, they may press a button inside the capsule to activate the process. The capsule, which is sitting on a piece of equipment, will then flood the interior with nitrogen, rapidly reducing the oxygen level to 1% from 21%. The person will then feel a little disoriented and feel slightly euphoric just before passing out, meaning that their final moments will be happy and content. This whole process apparently takes just 30 seconds, and even though the pod has not been approved for general use yet, there is already a prototype. What do you think?
Yeah, so now I'm saying I put this in here because it is one of those things to be like, wait a minute, somebody made a suicide pod. And then you couple that with the idea that people begin to feel or think or know that past lives exist, and that if they don't like the life that they're in, or maybe, hey, you know what, I'm gonna come back and try this again. Maybe I'm gonna be rich. Maybe I'm gonna, and I don't know if you can determine that. And some people say you can, but imagine that machine. And then at the point it hits the market, at a time that people wake up, or they're hearing things a little different, and all of a sudden now they are out there saying, you know what, I'm just going to get me a suicide pod and then I'll be back later. So I think that's something really to think about, but man, that is crazy when it comes down to that. Now, there's a lot of myth and conspiracies when it comes down to, reincarnation. And some people say we always come back as humans, or could we be other forms and everything else? Now, Dolores Cannon, which I do have a video, she says that we could come back as animals. So imagine you coming back as a fucking roach, and you done killed all these roaches, and now you come back as a roach. and then I spray you, or somebody, or you get sprayed so you can see how it is to be a roach. Because at the end, we all don't know what divine love is supposed to be or what's going to be our ascension method. Maybe we're supposed to learn that everything is love. We ain't even supposed to chew a plant if it's alive, right? All of these things. But again, what would you do? And yeah, me and the moon talk about, hell no, I don't like roaches. But again, Dolores Cannon said you can come back as an animal. And it says we can remember our past lives clearly, often glimpses. And they're saying that all of us actually get glimpses from time to time of our past lives, and we can do that. And also, reincarnation is supposed to explain deja vu that we're seeing. But deja vu is like we've been there before, but we can see ourselves in where we are. So we're in this particular timeline, but then our timeline is saying, hey, I saw this particular moment before. So I don't know how that can be, deja vu could be associated with reincarnation when it could be parallel universe. It could be something of the sense. I don't know. What do you think when it comes down to that? But someone said, hey, that's how it works, and that's how it works. So again, Dolores Cannon said you can come back as anything. You can really come back as a freaking dog or animal or something. So what would you, or did you know? And so I'm going to play a clip from Dolores Cannon. Now, this is about 2.5 minutes. So I want you to listen to it, pay attention to it, and we'll discuss that in a moment. But it does sets up what I'm talking about, and we're going to that. So fair enough. Let's go ahead and play this clip so you can see.
When you come to Earth, they said this is the most difficult planet in the universe. It's the hardest. It's the densest. It's the heaviest. They don't want to come here. It's very, very difficult. They have a lot more fun on the other planets. And also they have a lot of fun on Spirit side. They'd like rather much better stay over there because they're learning a lot there. There's schools, there's all kinds of things on the Spirit side. And I've written about all of these things in my books. But when they decide they're going to come to Earth and take on Earth's school, they're warned. This is going to be very difficult. You know this, don't you? Once you sign on for the Earth school, it's a long school. You can't get out of it until you are finished. You have to take all the grades, all the steps. You can't jump from kindergarten to college. You have to finish this class before you go to the next class. If you fail that class, there's no judgment. You just take it over again. And I've had many clients who are taking the same class over and over and over again. They go through maybe 4 or 5 lives with the same people, same circumstance, and they still haven't got it. You probably know people like that in your own lives, drawing the same circumstances to them time after time, the same kind of people to them time after time. Like, when are you going to get it? Now, the universe, once running all of this, and I'm glad somebody's running it, they don't care how long it takes you to pass one class, one grade. You have eternity. But do you want to take eternity to learn one little lesson? While everybody else is going on to high school, to college, you're still stuck on the 2nd grade. If that's what you want, it's your free will, you can do it. But if you realize you're just repeating the same class over and over again and not moving forward, then it finally begins to get into your head, okay, I don't need to keep repeating this. I'm going to move on. Then you go to the next class, the next grade, which may or may not be easier, may be harder, but at least it'll be different. Because there's no judging. You judge yourself. You decide yourself what you're going to learn when you come into a life. You set up the circumstances. Everybody here's been saying the same things. You choose your parents. You choose where you're going to live, the environment, what is going to be the best for you. You decide it all. But you have all these advisors over there, and they're always trying to help you. They can't tell you what to do, but they can help you. They said, are you sure you want to do this? And they said, oh yeah, I want to get rid of everything at once. I want to get rid of all the karma. And you pile your plate pretty full. Are you sure you want to do that? Yeah, I want to get it over with all at once. Say, okay, we'll be there to help you, but it's going to be very difficult.
So there you have it. Now that's Dolores Cannon, and she really has a great way of breaking down a lot of these things. I got a lot of her videos and things when she talks about it, but there was a clip that she talks about reincarnation, that we could come back as animals. You choose to come back as a dolphin or maybe something else, who knows? But why would you do that? I don't know. And although the human experience is supposed to be one of the best experiences, it is one of those things that we will go. Now, as she says, maybe we're here to learn a lesson. Who knows if we were supposed to learn a lesson? I look at it from, and just on a relationship standpoint, when my kid's mother is what we call a Leo, is what y'all call a Leo, and she is a Leo. She's born in August, which is August, whatever, 10th or 2nd. Yeah, 10th, I think. Yeah. And then I dated a girl that was in August the 12th. I dated someone August the 7th, the 11th, the 8th. My second wife was August the 2nd, and another. And I remember somebody told me years ago, you're going to keep getting these type of people until you learn. There's a lesson you're supposed to learn. And now, I don't know if I learned it or not, but I run as fast as I can when it comes down to that. And maybe that's something that she's talking about, but it may not even apply. But I will just say, who knows the life lesson? Now, I can only think who would say, I want to make a soul contract and I want to come back. But at this point, I want to have some type of major injury, or maybe I want to go through life as a slave or something. I'm not really for sure. Somebody signed up for that, at this point, and then realize, okay, this is not something I want to do. And then forget that you can just take yourself out. I don't know, but I will say that's something to think about. Now, one of the things that we could look at would be that, the evidence and arguments when it comes down to reincarnation. Children, number one, remember their life stories. And we'll talk about Ian Stevenson in a little bit. They even say near-death experiences. I know some of you have done with that in here, but near-death experiences with perceptions of past lives. Then we talk about the evidence of hypnotic regressions and past life therapy. Barbara Lamb does that all the time. She talks about that happens all the time. And then you got the universal themes across cultures and religions. Now, can there be any critical arguments against reincarnation? Absolutely. There's that other side, and I like to talk about them both. And that is the lack of scientific proof that comes down with it, because, the scientists saying if we can't get a hypothesis to come up with a theory, then that just doesn't exist. And that's something there. How about alternate explanation for past life memories? They call it imaginations, maybe false memories, and then logical inconsistencies when it comes down there from population growth of souls. So there's a lot of stuff there, but I will say that we will look into it. And like I said, I got a couple of videos that will go back into this, but the question would be, what about you? And now, I don't know if I asked already, but have any of you think that you have experienced past life, any past lives, any of you? And have any of you ever had a past life regression? I would love to know that in the chat, and we can kind of look into that as well. All right, so I got another couple of videos that I want to set up and play, and I think one in particular would be, let me delete this one since we already saw that one, and we're going to delete this one. All right, so one of the stories that I want to get into is a girl. She just describing a story. And then you can kind of hear this one. Let's just play this for a minute. It's about 30 seconds.
Was this little boy his own grandfather? Sam Taylor was born soon after his grandfather died, so they never met. But Sam was only 18 months old and he told his father, "When I was your age, I used to change your diapers." Sam went into insane detail on things he couldn't have known. About things like his sister, who, by the way, he claims to have turned into a fish. And his sister had died. In fact, she had been murdered by her husband 60 years prior. And she had been dumped into a bay. Like a fish. What do you think about this?
Now, I only played that one, and I'll give you some more direct testimonial, is because we hear it all the time that people in past lives, or they still are related. Now, I've heard some stories that sometimes souls will make a contract of some kind that they want to stay together and experience things together. So this group of souls may say, hey, this time I'm going to be your mother. This time I'm going to be your daughter. And we're going to go there. Oh, this time I'm going to be the father. Oh, let me now experience being the son. And it just continues that this is something that they're doing. Now, I've heard this all the time, and you try to do this. So let me look up here. She says, I always, as a kid, wanted and had strong feelings of wanting to go home. I was so unhappy as a little kid. I didn't know where home was truly is, but I've always had that feeling as a kid. You know, that's an interesting story, Gretchen, because at this point, I think that, you know, we hear this all the time, that people be like, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. And even some adults now will still think they don't belong here when it comes down to this and everything else. Yes, Sammy, that's right. Soul family. So we talk about that. And so people are saying that that is one of the things that happen, and that people could have a soul family when it comes down to this. And it's one of those things that we can do. Now, another story that I'm going to talk about is the boy who remembered being a pilot. I did a video on this before. He was a 4-year-old boy from Louisiana named James Leninger. Now, he began having vivid nightmares about a plane crash. This is when he was really young. Let me put a little background tonality to my story. Okay. So anyway, so this little boy ended up he was talking about he was having nightmares, or he was having a lot of nightmares about plane crashes. He spoke of being in World War II pilot that was shot down over Iwo Jima, which was a Japan place. Now, given specific details of his aircraft and squadron, and even name of a fellow pilot. Now, what happened was his parents initially were skeptical, just like any other particular parent, because you can imagine how you would be if your kid is start waking up talking about nightmares. He's talking about, you know, being a fighter pilot, and he's just a little kid, and he can't sleep. You don't know what's wrong with him. He's screaming, oh, whatever, and he's doing this repeatedly because he's having this dream over and over. Well, once again, they was astounded when James correctly identified the location of the aerial photos and details of his past military mission. He already knew this. And so a veteran connected with James described the lost comrade, confirmed the accuracy of the memories. So there was someone else who actually died in that squadron or whatever. He kind of knew what was going on, and he ended up, you know, telling him, hey, there's whatever, you know, he can do that. And let me see where we're going on. Anyway, so I think at the end of the day, you have to really look at the point of what we're talking about here. Now, at the end of the day, I guess my question would be this. Could this be a mere case of overacting imagination or information absorption? Now, I looked into this particular story, like I was saying, and what I noticed was that this little boy, he described everything. He even described like a place where they lived, this place. He knew the street name. And then when they were looking through a family photo, you know, he kind of knew a bunch of stuff. This was just crazy, man. And there was another story like that. Now, another one was this firefighters, and they called it deja vu. And this was a guy named Jeffrey King. He was a retired firefighter. He experienced an overwhelming sense of familiarity when he visited Gettysburg battlefield. He felt it as an unexplainable sadness and had flashes of a previous life. Now, he was intrigued. Everybody else was intrigued. So he delved into the Civil War history, discovering and started a resemblance to a fallen Confederate soldier named Gordon. So he's looking up these details. He then started looking up, you know, this history of the war. And he looking at some point, he finds Gordon and starting like, wait a fucking minute, I kind of look like this dude, but he recognized who he was. And he developed an uncanny knowledge of Civil War tactics and felt connected to Gordon's story. Now, the question again, is this the case of, you know, tapping into ancestral memories or something more profound? You know, how did he drive this story up? Well, it happens all the time. Now I have a story of the birthmark connection. This was an Indian girl named Rava. She is born with a distinct birthmark on her chest corresponding to a fatal gunshot wound from a previous life that his parents recall him recounting vividly as a toddler. And, one of the things when we think about all these stories, we want to think about it being toddlers or they being young and everything else. And this is where they come with. So I'm not really for sure how that goes from there. But in the meantime, let me go into a station identification here and put this together here. So anyway, this show is sponsored by my brand partnership with LIVEPURE Coffee. And I know a lot of you got your coffee and everything else, but they also have other weight loss products. I want to claim that I came in about 4 pounds lighter this year, not this year, but this week. And I've been using some of their products to speed up my metabolism and some other things. So if you are trying to get a few pounds off, check it out. But this coffee has been amazing. It's really got some great testimonials. A lot of people will send in some testimonials from there. And go to livepure.com/Roderick, and you should be able to do that. Now, if you are interested in joining Operation Thrive, baby, and this is where the health is the weapon and wealth is your shield, hit me up, man. Hit me up, and my email is contact@whythebigsecret.com. I already got 4 new business partners who's going to be joining us to do that, and we're going to be doing some things together, especially when a lot of these bigger projects come out. You're going to wish that you were part of what we're doing. But if you are really looking to get some of this pounds and weight off, check out the website, look at their weight loss products, sign up as a preferred customer, or you can do wholesale. It's just, $49 to become a business person, but you can just do it to buy wholesale if that's what you want to do. But anyway, we're going to get into all of that. Let's get back into our story. I just want to kind of share that with you from there. Thank you, Rainbow Light, for putting that up. Me and the Moon says the coffee is great. Yeah. So that's pretty good. So, I mean, she, texted me and said, hey, man, I ran 15 miles today. And I was like, damn. Well, yesterday, and the coffee, and she said she normally run 2, but she ran 15 miles. So that's how good the coffee is. It'll get your ass up there to run. Damon says coffee is good. Damon, I'm hoping that you will send me a video testimony, about 30 seconds of the coffee. You started out with truth seekers and talk about the coffee. If you don't mind doing that, I would really appreciate it, please. And just send it to my phone, and we'll go from there. And same with me and the Moon. Send me a video testimonial. All right, so let me show another video that we will get in. Theo said, I got my coffee yesterday. I drank 2 cups this morning. All right, hell yes. I went swimming, and look at that. You know what I'm saying? Look at what he said. I went swimming and I did a spin class the same freaking day. Congratulations. All right. I'm telling y'all, the shit is real. It's real. So anyway, I have another video, and this one is just a simple story about reincarnation, and we'll get into this a little bit. Why don't you listen to it just real quick? Check this out.
Car. She was in the back seat, in her car seat.
How old is she now?
She's 5. She'll be 6 Friday.
Okay.
So we're driving in the car, and she says, Mommy, this is just like where I died. Like, real excited, not upset or anything, just kind of very matter of fact. And,
At 2 years old?
Yeah, she was about 2 3/4.
So then you say, honey, you didn't die.
Now, that was on Oprah. This was way, 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 way back, a long time ago. But once again, the little girl said, Mom, she remembered. So isn't that ironic? Not only that you have a past life, but she ended up born with the lady, but then also living in the same area. See, that's something that always profound me. Think about all of this. Most of past life regressions could remember a tree, or they may, hey, that's where I died. Oh, this is where this happened. Why would we be connected to a specific area where this is happening over and over and over again? That's a question I would ask if anybody think about it. Why would that happen? So I think it's pretty much on there. So there you go. He said, crack, man, crack. There we go. Anyway, y'all forgive me. I'm dealing with a cold, and I was just about to sneeze on y'all ass. I sure was. And I had to catch it. Oh, my God. The worst feeling. Anyway, so why would that happen, though? Why would you think that people are born again, but they're ending up in the same scenario where they live? I mean, am I the only one, want to know? Is that freaky or not? Is there something that You can think about that. I don't know. That's something there. But anyway, another story, there was a young girl who exhibited remarkable artistic talent with no prior training or exposure. Now, her style and subject matter are strikingly reminiscent of a deceased artist from a different era. Now, art experts were baffled by her natural ability and focus on subjects that the artist was known for. She speaks of the period as work, it was her own experience. Now, this is once again, but we're only talking about children. You don't hear adults doing it, so you would think it has something to do with wiping our minds out and the fact that our minds are getting older or something stops that from maturity level or something. I'm not really for sure what that would be, but you can think about why would that be the case, and then if it is, then I don't know. So I'm not here to tell you here's what it is. Now, I do know Barbara Lamb. I do know her personally. She does past life regressions. I have not had one done. Now, I will say this. I have a video, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to contact the girl who we did it. Me and Barbara Lamb, we was going to do a past life regression live to the audience. We taped it. The girl went to a hotel. She got comfortable. She took her laptop. She put it right next to her and laid on a pillow and put the thing up. Barbara and I was looking at it from the producer side of the film inside the live place. Barbara was talking to her through the laptop. She sat there and closed her eyes. Barbara put this lady into a trance, okay? Then she started doing past life regression on her, and I'm telling you, the story came out was so profound. It was, and I told Barbara when I said we can't show this to the public because at that time and time now was just too sensitive. The girl went all the way back to concentration camps and where her life ended. And she vividly talked about it. It was just, man, it was just so profound. They were hiding and they got found. It was just wow. But anyway, I'm sharing that part to tell you that it's really, I have it on video. We taped it. And I was going to show it. I just said, I don't know, but I may try to put it in a private area or something, but she told me I could. She was describing, she was in a trance, tears running down her eyes. She was a black person. And she started talking about how she was a white person in the other life. She was a boy. It was just so vivid, man. I'm telling you, it was crazy. So I have it. The video's plain this day. It was just, and it's on this computer right here. I could load it up. And, but anyway, so the thing is what is this thing? Why wouldn't we think about it? And even now there's people that are connected to each other, or some people now, I've tell some people they mother and daughter got some real tight relationships, or father and sons, or vice versa. And I'm saying y'all may have known each other in a past life. I've known two people that have love life, and their two were pretty much, I remember a movie that the two couples met on a train and they fell in love with each other. And when they started talking, they both birthdays were the same. They thought that was, incredible. We both got the same birthday. We meant for each other. And then they ended up, talking about some of their interests, and they just had this connection where they kept coming back to each other and didn't realize till later on that they had this type of regression type thing, that they both were in past lives and they both were killed the same time in the past life, which meaning they came back and were reborn together at the same date in a new life with the intent of meeting up in this one. It's incredible. Incredible story. Look it up. You won't be disappointed. Find the story. Anyway, yeah, I am struggling. We're not going to be here too long tonight. I'm telling y'all that. I'm holding up the fort right now. And so I've got another video that I want to share with you, and you can kind of see the story. And let's kind of go with this one right here. It's about a minute. Check it out.
Oh, nice.
Parents will tell you kids say and do the darndest thing.
And by the way, let me do a setup for this particular story. And it's not going to say it here, but the original story is that this girl, who is white, started having past life regressions that she was a black girl in the earlier life. Now that changes everything when you talk about a conversation that a person, and same thing with the girl who did the regression that we did with Barbara Lamb. She came back as a white guy, a white boy in back in Germany somewhere. So I'm saying, think about this. So why are we so much dealing with race when our souls are coming back all different races anyway? Is that something we're supposed to learn? Is that a challenge that we're supposed to go through to do this? And I'm not really for sure. But I will tell you this. Kevin Samuel said on past life regression. No, I'm just kidding. It's my code word. Anyway, so is it possible, though? Is it possible that there is some connection that we're all one, where we're sitting here divided by racial things, or we, or anyway, or are we the same person? Yeah, I mean, not the same person, but it's just our souls has no, racism to it, right? It's just something else. I don't know, but I think it's kind of weird. So anyway, let's go back to the story and let you check it out.
Oh, nice.
Parents will tell you kids say and do the darndest things.
We used to laugh and call him an old man.
Quirky and cute, says Erica Ruhlman, that her 2-year-old son Luke seemed obsessed with safety in and around their suburban Cincinnati home.
Very cautious about crossing the street, anything that might be hot or dangerous or high.
And then there was that other fixation.
I think I specifically asked him, why did you name the ladybug Pam? And he said, I just think it's a nice name.
Soon everything was Pam, with increasingly peculiar comments.
He used to say when I was a girl I had black hair, or he'd say, I used to have earrings like that when I was a girl.
The stay-at-home mom wondered, where was he getting these ideas? Luke's answer changed their lives forever.
I was like, who is Pam? Out of frustration. And that's when he turned to me and looked at me and said, well, I was. And I was like, what do you mean you were?
All right. So now, again, he's like, I was Pam. And we're talking about racial barriers. We're talking about racial barriers. So black people are coming back as white people. White people is coming back as black people. But yet in the real reality of life, we got the elites or whatever. So are we having people saying I was black in the last life? Well, I'm not going to go through that shit this time. So I'm coming back as a white guy. Or the white guy says, you know what? I wasn't what I need to be. Size doesn't matter. I'm going to come back as a black guy this time. I don't know. What would be the difference that people are saying, I want to come back and experience this experience, right? So where do you go with that? In thinking that we are still on a minute level, that we're sitting here talking about black and white and Jewish and all of this, but the souls are saying we don't give a damn. It's all a fucking experience, that we all have this experience and you're going to come back to experience. And so where did the division come from? And what is the lesson we're supposed to learn, if there's any truth in it? And I think that's something to really think about. Now, the story that I'm going to play for you in a minute, I broke it up into two halves. Now, this one is going to be one of the most emotional stories I've ever found, okay, when it comes down to reincarnation. It's going to touch your heart. It's going to really challenge your thoughts. And what you're about to see, you may not believe it. And I'll play it in a little bit, but it is the pinnacle of it all. And I think it's something that is really, really going to, because this particular story has some caveat to it. And this little boy speaks from the soul. He speaks from the soul and says some things that I was like blown away. And I'll let y'all know. Y'all may want to see it when it's time or whatever. Anyway, if you find any value into what we're doing tonight, you can support the show if you like, and I would appreciate if you did. We're a community supported show. And right at the top, right up here, there you go. There's a Cash App up there. We'll get immediate attention. If you want to PayPal, you can do that. Cash App is $ Why the Big Secret. And let's do it. But before I get into that particular story, there was a woman who had an experience of, she kind of had like a debilitating fear, of water, despite no personal trauma. During her regression therapy, she recalls a past life where she drowned in a shipwreck. Now, they went back and looked up historical records and confirmed the shipwreck matching the patient's visions. And upon facing her fear, then all of a sudden her phobia diminished. Now, was that something she was supposed to learn? Is that something that this particular traumatic experience were going to do for her? I'm not really sure, but I know at the end of the day, it's something serious enough that we can do. Someone says, also training my son to continue to break generation curses so I can better the childhood trauma. It might sound weird, but I think that was part of my past life purpose. And you know what? Shoots, who knows? You know, in the past life, the whole story could be totally different. And yeah, I don't think these kids are making that up. And Jay says, nah, I'm good coming back black again. But you may not have a choice. You may come back as a beef cattle, and we're gonna eat you. You get what I'm saying? You come back and you experience the point of turning into a McDonald's burger. We don't know. I just killed a mosquito when I played the video. It was right here. I don't know if he meant to be here, and then maybe it was one of y'all or somebody else in the past life, but they can go back and start a new one. I took care of business for them. I didn't think they wanted to enjoy being a mosquito, so I took them out of there. And now they can go back and come back as a soul or something else. Maybe it better not be a roach or something because I got spray over there. I don't know. But Dolores Cannon said that's available. That's possible. But at the end of the day, those are one of the things there. So, again, if you want to support the show, thank you, Philly Cat, putting it on the screen. The Cash App, let me put it there because obviously you might not be able to see it up there. But this is where it is right there. All right. So, at this point, what I'm saying is the video I'm about to show you in a few moments here, it's going to be heartwarming. It's about 4 minutes, but I broke it up into two halves so we can consume the first half, and then you got to see what the little boy says again in the second half. It's an emotional story. I don't even know if y'all ready for that. I may not even need to play that. I mean, because it's going to make you cry. You're going to cry, and you're going to be like, man, this stuff is real. And yeah, I may not put that on y'all tonight because some of y'all get all emotional and you want to go out if you ain't had your coffee and all of that stuff. And we have to kind of see maybe if they run out of bodies. All right. So it's funny you said that because on Freaky Friday, we're going to have a story that I'm going to show y'all that they found a container. Remember they talk about the babies and the guy was talking about Michael Jackson and all of these babies. They found a container. Okay. And the container had, I think, 60,000 unalive babies in this thing. Okay. We're going to talk about it on Freaky Friday because it is something freaky. Okay. Just letting you know. Make sure you don't miss it. Yes. So I'm just saying that this thing is really, really trippy when it comes down to what we're talking about. And I can show it right now. And just go get some tissue right now. Tito, stop teasing. Go get some tissue because you're gonna cry with joy and you're gonna cry with the other side because you're gonna be like, man, it's just a beautiful story. I'm serious. You're gonna do that. Maybe not. And some of y'all all hard anyway. Y'all done had so much past lives that you just don't have no more hearts. You don't know. All right. So, all right. I'm gonna play the video. Because I promised to play it. I want to play it. I put it in here to play it. It's broken down to two halves. Listen to this little boy closely. Watch his emotions. And I want y'all to pay attention. It's a minute and 44 seconds. And then we'll play the second half later, after this in 2 minutes. So fair enough. If y'all ready, I want y'all to put in the chat, you ready. I want to hear it. And let's put it on here. And if you find value in this particular stuff, I want to know about it because I went through a lot of work trying to get these clips for y'all. So let's go. Listen to the story. Let's roll.
Okay. So tell me what's wrong. What's wrong, buddy? Talk to me.
All right. So he's waking up out of sleep. I won't stop it again. But this little dude waking up out of slumber and he is like, what the hell is going on? Okay. And he is serious as all get out. Okay. So I'm telling you, okay, I see a ready. Charles says he's ready. Welcome. Damien didn't say he was ready. So that's cool. Ready for Body Electric Supplement. Ready, Me and the Moon. Ready, We Love Canada. See, I would have played it, but since Damien is not ready, because Damien always tell me to wait, And then I'll just wait, you know. But y'all talk to Damien about this. But Rainbow Light did a check. That's cool. Appreciate it. Oh, somebody said, forget Damien. Okay, we'll play it anyway. All right, so let's go. Let's roll. Y'all watch it.
So tell me what's wrong. What's wrong, buddy? Talk to me. What happened?
Can I wipe my nose and
yeah.
Can I do my nose and you do my tears?
Yeah. Okay.
Give me a tissue and then
okay. What you're talking about? We passed away. Who passed away? What are you talking about, baby?
The river made us pass away.
The river did?
Yes.
The river made me and you pass away?
Yes.
A long time ago?
Yes. And now we're back.
Okay. And you got that from Scenic Relaxation and AK.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So, we died. Is that what you said?
No, I passed away.
Okay.
No, we didn't do that. We just passed away.
In the river?
Yes.
Okay, and why do you feel like that?
Because I passed away in the river.
By yourself?
With you.
Oh, with me?
Yes.
I was with you?
I want to pass away again.
You are?
I want to again.
You want to again?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't want to be here.
You don't want to be here?
No.
Why?
Man, let me tell you something. Now, wait till you see the second half. But did y'all feel the emotion? You can't fake that shit. No, you're right, country boy. That is not fake. And what you did see, though, when she turned the camera to the TV, whatever it was put him into a meditative state because it was like this calm whatever. She was like, oh, you was watching it and you hear the music and it was, so it must have put him in so much of a calm state in the water sound, whatever, it brought it all out. But what did he say at the end? I want to go back. I want to pass away again. Obviously, it's better wherever he was. Why the fuck did I come back here? Now, the second video, once again, is still emotional. The little boy really gets deep when it gets down to this. But, hey, like he said, I passed away. He used a term. She didn't say what happened. I mean, he's like, I passed away. And both of us, we both were there. We came back. See, she probably can't remember because she's more an adult. And so once again, there you go, the life. And he's not making that stuff up. He is not making that stuff up. But the other part was he didn't want to come back here. Now, didn't I tell y'all about this being a prison planet? That the souls are trapped here and don't want to really be here? Didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I talk about that all the time? Oh, I got some ridiculed about it. Oh, yeah, this is not. I'm telling you that Ariel said the same thing. The alien said this is where we send all the bad stuff. All of us could be, in some retrospect, not where we're supposed to be because we're here together. And when that soul little boy says, I don't want to be here, shit, no, send me back. But I came back. And then he going to say something in the other videos going to fuck you around because he's going to be like, whatever. So, I don't know. So, do y'all want to watch the second half? Maybe not. Maybe I showed too much. Maybe I'll get somebody to buy some coffee. Maybe I'll get somebody to support the show. Who knows? But I'm saying to y'all, this is real stuff, people. It's real stuff. And that is something that we're going to talk. Okay. I'll play the second half. You know, if I got, show me some, I don't know if I'm even loved. I'm sick. Nobody checks on me when I'm sick. I ain't here for anybody. And I've been coughing and about to choke now. So I'm going to get out of here in a minute because, boy, look at here. This thing is kicking my ass. That's all right, though. All right, so let's go into playing the second half. It's 2 minutes. And then I'm going to get off this live chat, y'all, because I got to get, hang on. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to play the second half for you. Let's go.
Why don't you want to be here?
I will come back soon.
You will come back soon?
I will come back here soon as
Grayson, honey, what are you talking?
And the little dude said, I will come back here soon. He's like, fuck it. I'm coming back soon, but I don't really want to be here. He already knows the system. And maybe the souls do know that they keep coming back until they do what? Wipe our memory, right? So there you go. But anyway, let me play the whole thing and let's go into it right now. Let's go.
Why don't you want to be here?
I will come back soon.
You will come back soon?
I will come back here soon as...
Grayson, honey, what are you talking about? Baby, you've got to calm down. And what made you say all that? What made you say that story?
No, story.
It's not? It's not a story. Don't eat your boogers, buddy. We'll wipe them.
No! I want to eat boogers.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's not do that, okay?
Let's do that.
Does it make you feel better?
Yeah.
Does it make you not want to pass away no more?
Yes.
Okay, let's not want to pass away no more, okay?
Why?
Because Mommy would be so sad.
Did you want to pass away with me?
I will go anywhere with you, buddy.
Why?
Because I'll never leave you alone. Ever. I'm always going to be here for you, okay? Okay?
Will you pass away for me?
I sure would. I sure would, dude. I sure would. No. It's okay. Let's not have such a sad talk. Let's have happy talk. I just don't understand what made you think of this, buddy. You want a hug?
Maybe.
Maybe. Would you like a big hug? A real big hug? Okay. All right, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. You a little better now? You feel a little better?
There you have it. Now, his soul caught a little humor and like, he gave her a F you booger, like, but did you see how he was focusing to a point he was like, how in the freaking am I here? What am I here? Are you going to die for me? He's like, let's get me out of here, at this point. But you saw that was real life emotions. And that little boy definitely was talking about this thing. And like I said, he woke up out of that. And once again, I can, I don't know. I think it's one of those deals that I will say that this is something that you want to make sure that, when you hear your kids or kids say some maybe things that you may have thought maybe crazy or something, they're not crazy. They're not crazy. And that is a story to do this in pretty much. Now, I would love to play it one more time just to kind of, give you a way party. But other than that, that is just something. So what do y'all think about it? What do you think about what was happening with the kid and pretty much and put it in the chat and let me hear what you got to say. Friday, as you know, is Freaky Friday. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff Friday. I got some clips and things that I want to get into because I get a lot of these stuff. And so I think it's time for us to start talking about some of this high strange things and really get into that. One of the stuff we can do. But other than that, yeah, he asked, would she pass away with him? And that is something you got to think about it because at this point, that question is, is really, really, really deep. Thomas, when she's talking about this, Maya, because you think about that question, he's saying, would you pass away again with me? It's almost like we're joined at the hip. We got to go again. And then she's like, yeah, I don't think she really know what she's talking about because it just may happen at this point. And you never know. So I don't know. I just think it's one of, I have no answers on that, but I guess we will see when he gets older. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And pretty much. So yeah, those are one of the things I would say from there. And make sure all of you have your notifications on tonight. Make sure, because there's going to be some content coming out you don't want to miss. So make sure you go down to your phone, set the alerts that you get the alerts for these live streams and all of that. And we can really do that as well. And with that being said, that's past lives. I don't know if you have any questions or anything with that, pretty much, but I'm going to skedaddle. I'm going to get Buffy and Jody. We're going to get the fuck out. Oh, also, I just want to think we only have 2 more UFO detectors left. We only have 2 more left. People have been buying them and shipping them out. And pretty much, I'm sorry for those of you who could have got you one, who should have got you one. You're going to really miss a unique item here. We got 2 left. And like I said, there's people who email, and please, if you're interested in the last 2, you email me. Don't email me without a telephone number. I'd rather tell you about this over the phone. It's just got too much. I can't even type to you what this thing does in a government level and all of this stuff. And I appreciate those who inquire. I try to say, hey, give me a number and do that. So I'm just saying I just can't. I don't type that well to be able to go ahead and articulate all of the features and stuff. And if you can listen to me and you don't mind us talking, and I'll delete your number after that shit, so you don't think I'm just trying to have your number or whatever, then that's fine. But anyway, it is definitely one of those things. The email is contact@whythebigsecret.com. Contact@whythebigsecret.com. And like I said, I got mine. I put my detector in the car and, just pick up little stuff. It is cool. It gets on that app. It is the toy of the century. We can pretty much do that. And we're good. All right. So, yeah, we love Canada, says Jimmy Church time. See you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. So with that being said, there are the email address, contact@whythebigsecret.com, or if you go to the website, whythebigsecret.com, there's a place you can send a message and go in from there. All right. Love you guys. I really do. Appreciate you. And I thank y'all for coming out tonight. Make sure y'all be here Friday at 8:30. We'll start at 8:30 Friday, and we'll go as long as we want. But we will talk about a lot of interesting stuff this Friday, and pretty much. And that's the email right there on the screen. Let me know. I got a couple left. I'll get it out. I'll ship them out tomorrow if you want to get it tonight. And I'll put it in the mail so you can get it and play with this, and you will not be disappointed. I promise to tell you that you will not be disappointed. All right. It's been a pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. My sick ass got to roll.
Why did Ruby shoot Oswald? Was there a conspiracy?
In a world shrouded in darkness and obscured by deception from the big secret keepers, a burning question ignites in the hearts and minds of truth seekers. Why? Let's dive into the abyss of the unknown. Challenge the limits of our understanding.
This bizarre sequence of double killings raised great questions. Who actually fired the shot that killed Kennedy?
Pierce the veil of secrecy.
Cattle found dead and the manner of their deaths are a real mystery.
Anyone who is concerned about lead in the drinking water in Flint.
And venture into the realm of conspiracies and extraterrestrial evidence.
A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
Let us consider the question, why the big secret?